We are the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Guys, welcome back as we are hanging out with Barnes, the G.I. Joe and BattleBot Pig. We are hanging out and Barnes is going to get his nom on as we are getting ready to get into a figure review. And of course, if you couldn't tell from the music that's playing in the background, this one is going to be G.I. Joe related. This one is from Super 7, and once again, thank you, Lurch Troll Slight Return, for sending this one, and we are looking forward to reviewing this. This is how this one came, G.I. Joe Cobra Commander from Super 7. So we go ahead and we're going to open up that outer box. I really do like the way that they package this. This is absolutely spectacular. This is absolutely protecting the figure in the box. So there we go. This is what the inner box looks like. And then it's got a sleeve that pulls off, and there you go with the Cobra Commander. This one looks pretty cool. We're gonna have to get this one out of the box, take a look at it, full articulation poses, and see if it's worth all the hype.
Bravissimo! And so handsome!
So right out of the box, here we go with Cobra Commander by Super 7. I will say, for a cartoon accurate version of Cobra Commander, this one doesn't look bad. Get a look around at the backside, and there is a wire. There is a wire in the back of his cloak here, so you can get it into some pretty cool positions. I dig that, and it kind of pops right off. There is no way to really hold this on. The wires on the top of the cloak are what holds it on, so if you get in certain positions, it will just kind of fall right off. I kind of almost wish they would have put some kind of magnets on top of his shoulders.
You're not very good at this.
It does come with some posability. We're going to get into that in a moment. We're going to show off some of the accessories, one of which is these binoculars that he has right here. Because the articulation is a little bit limited in the arms right here, once again, we're going to get into the full depth of that. Yeah, you can almost kind of simulate him holding the binoculars up. Now, he does have a couple other hands that are supposed to be better for that. But unfortunately, he does have this open hand, which probably would have worked really well with holding the binoculars. But this tip here is soft. It's so soft, it's almost like soft rubber, so you can't even port it into the freaking arm slot. That is just trash. It goes with a few more of those hands that I was able to port in with a transmitter device, getting ready to push the button on it. It goes with some other kind of transmitting device. I'm not really sure what this one is supposed to be. It seems very odd. It almost seems like it has a port, and then as you can see, he doesn't stand very well. The articulation is a bit of a pain, but there we go with that little device, whatever the hell that is supposed to be.
Retreat! Retreat!
Here he goes with yet another item. He's got a Cobra wrapped around a globe right there, and he does actually have a specific hand that this thing ports into. Unfortunately, it's really difficult to kind of port that in there. Decent detail on the snake right there. I mean, it's pretty cool. A neat little accessory.
We are invincible.
He goes with his command staff, and he's got a blaster in his hand. A very, very odd looking blaster. I mean, it's interesting, but there's definitely a lack of posability in this guy. The rockers on the feet don't move very far, but we're getting to that. Here he goes in another pose with a couple more weapons right here. Now, I'm not really sure what this weird laser blaster thing is. It's got a little scope thing on the front. I will say I do like that the way that they made the hands right there, so the finger can actually go inside the trigger guard. That is pretty cool. In case you didn't notice, that is a different head as well. It's just a little bit different because it doesn't have the silver stripe on top. So there we go with him. He does come with one more accessory. He does come with this rifle, but if you notice that there's no handle. There's no handle on this rifle for him to hold. So yeah, what's the point? Why even include something like that? That's just retarded. The articulation on this one is pretty standard. The arms move up. He's got a bicep turn. He does have a cut right here at the elbow, but it's a single jointed elbow, so that is as far as you're turning his elbow. There is a little bit of rock down here in the wrist. You got to play with it to get him to move, but I mean, it does have some movement. Unfortunately, I did notice swapping the hands in and out, this became extremely loose in here. It starts getting loose and it wants to pop out. That is a shame. He does have this ab crunch right here, but this is very loose as well. Very loose. Like, it shouldn't be that loose brand new. That's pretty horrible. He does have a little bit of a diaphragm cut down here, but it's very minute, so it's more about turning and maybe incremental movements. The head actually has a fair amount of movement in here. You get a little bit of side by side, you get way back, you know, as far as the helmet will allow, and you get a nice look down on there. That's pretty cool. As far as the legs, there's no drop down on these legs. So whatever movement you get there's a little bit of twist on there because it's a ball. And that's about as much movement as you get. You try to do the Van Dams, that's as far as you're going to get. Kicking back, there's literally no kickback on these legs whatsoever. Decent amount kicking forward, and then a single jointed knee. Pretty horrible. There's no extra turn up here by the knee, no turn by the ankle or anything, or should I say in the shin. There is good movement here in the foot, a little bit restricted by these, but you got pivot and you got rock. But that is it. Like, overall, I gotta say, for something that is, and I forget how much these things, I know they're somewhere around the $40+ range for these Super 7 G.I. Joe figures. Looking like the cartoon version of Cobra Commander, it looks excellent. I am not going to deny that. This looks just like the cartoon, spectacular. The articulation is where this one fails. Not to mention that one of the hands, the joint was so rubbery that I couldn't even use it. Or getting a weapon that you can't even use because he can't hold it whatsoever. Those are huge misses to me. This is where I think this figure fails. It does not have all the features that you would expect for a $40 or more figure. As good as this looks, I don't think I would want to buy any more from Super 7 into this line. Luckily, our good friend Lurch Troll, Slight Return, had sent this one to me. Ah, man. It's just a shame. I had high hopes when I seen this with the packaging and everything. It looks so well done. And then to get the figure out and then see this is more than just a little bit disappointing. The absolute best that I can give this figure is a 7 out of 10.
Men will suffer for this!
Guys, that is all we have on this one. This one does offer an exceptional amount of accessories. The cape that's on the back with the wires in it is really cool. The figure itself does have those very heavy cartoon vibes. I think they did an excellent job there. Now, what I will say about the rest of this figure, while it does have some articulation, the articulation is incredibly lacking, and especially for a figure that is at a much higher price point than the Hasbro ones, that is just it's not even a little, it is extremely disappointing. This one is very basic in its articulation with single jointed elbows, single jointed knees, very unimaginative shoulder joints. The pivots down at the feet aren't bad with the rock and everything, and there is some decent movement in the head. There's an awful lot that was left off the table for this one as far as articulation is concerned. But when you start lacking in articulation, when you're talking modern collectible action figures, to me, that is very on the side of unforgivable, and it really is a shame. And for, like I said, once again, for the price tag on this one, this thing should have a lot wider range of movement on it, and it just does not. Anyway, guys, you think I was a little bit harsh on this one? It's still, overall, it's a nice figure, and I do very much appreciate Lurch sending this one to me, and I think it's awesome looking. It's just disappointing it doesn't have the articulation it should. Guys, be sure to let Barnes, the G.I. Joe and BattleBot Pig, know what you thought about this one. Later, y'all.
No!